Hey, good evening. Welcome to the Falls Township Board of Supervisors meeting for November 21st, 2016. We'll begin with the salute to the flag, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mrs. Pullen?
Mr. Galloway?
Here.
Mr. Bradsky?
Here.
Mr. Harvey?
Here.
Mr. Dents?
Here.
Mr. Rocco?
Here. Okay, as Mr. Gray is getting the sign-in sheet for public comment, we did have an executive session, which we're actually going to have to continue after this meeting. Ms. Gallagher, can you give us a summary, please?
Certainly, Mr. Harvey. The board did meet prior to this evening's meeting with representatives from T&M regarding the possible construction management of the new township building. During that discussion, no deliberation occurred and no official action was taken. And the board also met in an executive session to discuss a personnel matter.
Okay, thank you. We have two names on the sign-in sheet for public comment. Amy Ransley.
Hi, my name is Amy Ransley. I live on Yardley Avenue in Fawsington, and I am here about the activity behind the firehouse, which you all know about. As of last week, they're still doing business there. Trucks are going in and out, and from my understanding, that should not be going on. And I wanted to know what's going on with that. Mr. Harvey, you did send me an email back stating that with your understanding that they are allowed to keep storage containers that is permitted use, and also, you know, that they would be allowed to have empty storage containers there, which I believe that's a misunderstanding.
You're right.
And so I wanted just to know what was going on with that. I do have photos from every single day of trucks pulling in and out and dumping containers, picking containers up. I don't sit out there and watch them. I just happen to go outside, and they just happen to be there. I'm walking, picking my kid up from school. Trucks are going by. I don't know if they were out there today, but they've been out there every day.
Okay. You're right. No, I do apologize for the misunderstanding. And actually, that was sort of the breakdown of communication between the company. When that company first came in, they announced that they were going to be doing landscaping, which is basically what the previous company did when they were there. It became obvious, thanks to people like yourself letting us know that they were doing more than what they were supposed to be doing. And we found out that they were storing dumpsters. Dumpsters would be filled with construction waste. The waste would come back to that location. It would be dumped, sorted. Recycled material would go into a different dumpster. Garbage would go into another dumpster, and then those dumpsters would be taken out. And that's not permitted at all at that location. So they were told to stop doing that. Their understanding was that they could still store dumpsters if they were emptied. So they'd take them out in the morning, take them someplace, empty them someplace else, and store them at night. And that was made clear to them. When was that they're not allowed to do that either?
That was at the end of last week, I believe, on Wednesday or Thursday. And just a point of clarification, the storage of the dumpsters wasn't necessarily the problem. It was the bringing them in and out
transportation
of the site.
of
Correct.
But
so
they are not allowed to store containers there either.
There is a zoning hearing board decision from 1988 that allows them to store up to 6 pieces of equipment. What we had told them, while they are seeking a variance from the zoning hearing board, so they were told that they were allowed to leave their equipment on site pending that appeal.
That would be the firehouse would be able to, not another company. So that's a misunderstanding. The firehouse is allowed to have storage containers for their own personal use for the firehouse. The firehouse is allowed to have their own trucks on the property for their use. This is another company on the firehouse property, so they are not allowed.
This is tied to the landscaping business.
Okay, well, it's not a landscaping business.
well, but that was
And also, under the zoning, the property is not to be used for a landscaping business. I don't know what was done back in the past, but the property is zoned institutional, and the purpose of that property is not for a landscape business. It's for an institutional property, which would be educational. It could be a daycare, a nursing home, park, hospital, stuff like that, not a business to be ran as a, any other type of business, and then what the purpose of the property is for.
Yeah. At some point, like I said, it was a landscaping business for a long time, and they stored all kinds of materials back there and equipment. At some point, most likely, they got a use variance, which they're allowed to get through the zoning board. So similar to what the firehouse was planning on doing 2 weeks ago, asking for a variance, what's called a use variance, so they'd be allowed to do something that's not necessarily permitted, and that the zoning board would hear that, and depending on what it was, they could vote yes or no. Because it was a landscaping business for a long time at that back property, I'm assuming, I think I actually changed I think the zoning code changed to institutional at some point.
In
So at some
2008,
point, yeah, at some
Went
point.
from light industrial to
Right, to
institutional.
So chances are, if it was a pre-existing condition, if they were already using it as a landscaping site, which they may have been in 2008, then if the zoning changed, that would not affect them because they would be grandfathered in. Now, if it stayed as the same use, if one landscaper left, another landscaper came in, that would continue that way. They would still be allowed to do that. Because they're not doing that, which we all know now, and of course when they started they said, oh no, we're just doing landscaping. Now that we know they're not doing that, now they have to come before the zoning board and ask for a whole lot more in terms of variances, in terms not just for all kinds of things. It is something, as I said to you in the email, they were planning on coming here. That we made it clear to them that we were going to be opposing anything they were going to be doing there, which is why they asked to sort of be taken off the agenda for that time. We do have a meeting scheduled with them next week to discuss their operation and ways to make this better. It's depending on what their answer is to what our concerns are, and we're obviously voicing your concerns and sharing with them the information you've already sent to us through video and everything else. We'll have to wait and see what they're, we're putting the ball in their court, because we're not going to change. We're not going to allow them to be dumping trash there and sorting it and doing that kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure. And so if, I know my time's up, but if, so landscaping was done there in the past and then landscaping stopped for 3 years, they're automatically still allowed to do landscaping?
No, it would be
Because they
1
haven't
year.
been doing landscaping for 3 years now, or 2 years at least on that property. So they shouldn't, that grandfather's gone then if they stop doing landscaping,
Should be after a
correct?
year, correct?
Yeah, if it's a pre-existing nonconformity, if the use is abandoned for a period of 1 year, they would no longer be able to benefit from the nonconformity. I don't recall the specifics as to this property, but I believe that they do have an approved use for the current landscaping use. But again, that was just for the identical landscaping use that was previously used.
Right, but.
I don't recall the specifics as to the
Yeah, without
the
having
length
a
of
property
time.
file, we can't give you the exact timetable,
Okay.
but, okay?
Yes, but, so it has not been used though for landscaping for over a year at this
Well,
point, so.
Yeah, probably not, I guess, right?
Okay,
Well,
thank you.
if it's not being used is one thing, but it's a legal definition of abandoned. So if the property is being marketed, that sort of thing, it may not be considered legally
Right.
abandoned. So,
Right.
All
Okay,
right,
thank you. Dan Kearney? Okay. All right. Yeah, you can't say it much better than she did. Those are the only names on the list. Any other interested parties? Okay. All right. I'm going to move to item number 2 on the agenda, certificate of appropriateness for 25 Yardley Avenue. This is to replace a brick sidewalk and also replace an 18-inch high front retaining wall. Mr. Gray?
Yes, this has been reviewed and approved by the HARB Board on November 14th. Applicant's name is Mr. Robert Belknap. The board is asked to consider this at this time.
Okay, and I know Mr. Belknap's here. We just did, I think it was last month or earlier this month. 2 weeks ago, Mr. Belknap, we approved a fence. Now he's looking to make some changes to the front of the property. Any comments or questions for Mr. Belknap?
None.
Okay, is there a motion to approve? And this has been, as Mr. Gray said, been approved by the Historic Architecture Review Board. Is there a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness for 25 Yardley Avenue?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you. Okay, item 3 is a presentation by Parks and Rec for the Halloween decorating contest. Mr. Andrews is here.
Evening, everyone. Parks and Recreation, for the first time, I believe, has started a Halloween house decorating contest, which is similar along the lines of what we do for the holiday house decorating contest. It was Quinn Kelly's idea to do this contest, so this is the first year we're doing it. We'd like to honor our winners. We're going to go in the order. Second place first will be Laura Simpson, the Simpson family. Come on up. They gotta get in a picture. Okay, I'm gonna ask you to go over there. And we'll get a few pictures. Okay. All right, our first place winners this year, the Kramer family. The Kramer family had 15 nominations within a period of 2 days.
Wow.
Just so you know that.
Can you give, Mr. Andrews, can you give the addresses of the two properties?
Yeah, 64 Eventide Lane for second place winners. And first place winners, 419 Alden Ave. 415 Alden Avenue.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna take a picture now.
Can we just turn it away from, just turn the whole thing, maybe? You know,
Just unplug it.
stand in front of it.
Yeah, just stand in
Put
front
your
of
hand
it.
in front of it.
One little girl is kind of hiding in the back. Can you come over to
That's one you're looking for.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. And it's a great idea. Thank you, Park and Rec. Thank you, Ms. Kelly, for your work. And congratulations to the two winners. Let's see. All right, and we're going to keep with Mr. Andrews here, going to give us basically a summary of the activities over the course of the year for Park and Rec.
Okay. Really appreciate to have this opportunity to come out. It's kind of like our State of the Union almost, kind of been where we've been, where we're going, that sort of thing. So we'll go back and start with our ever busy summer season. The first program I'd like to give a recap on, and what I'm going to do is hit some bullet points. If you have any questions afterwards, just feel free to chime in, and I'd be more than happy to answer them. The first program was our summer camp program. This year we held it at Penn Valley Elementary School. Went very well. Our registrations were 176 participants. That is our highest since I've been here. We were up 25% from 2015. It was a great program. We added some new elements to our camp this year, which I thought were really great ideas. We offered a sport camp within the camp for kids that interested in playing sports. We had an art camp for kids that were interested in doing art projects, and also a dance program. These specialty programs, I really think, encompass what different kids needs and desires are to do. So it was really something the parents and the participants really embraced, and we look to do that again in the future. Once again, we were able to keep a 1-to-4 staff to camper ratio. That's one staff member for every 4 children. That is pretty much unheard of in most camps. We believe that is one of the reasons our camp is heads above everyone else. And it's a key. I think it's a key reason our camp has increased their enrollment each year. And we are a popular camp. We have like a waiting list now, so we are getting there. And I just like to publicly acknowledge the efforts of Jessica Fox, who runs the day-to-day operations of the camp, and the camp staff from her all the way down to our CITs. They did a great job, and I'd like to acknowledge their efforts. Any questions on the camp? Most of you are familiar with it in one way or another.
Just real quick, a CIT, for people that don't know, is a counselor in training.
Counselor in training.
Right,
correct.
so they were 14-year-olds or 15?
Yes, 14. Yeah, we had 3 of them this year.
Okay, great, all right.
Okay. Okay, our next item is the Pinewood Pool, our other huge summer activity program. I like to go over the revenues and expenditures. Pool revenues, I think in 2016 rose 3 to 4% compared from the year 2015. The revenues include our general memberships, our guest fees, program income, and concession revenues. Memberships themselves increased about 1%. Big contributor to our increase in revenue is always our swim lesson program. We have about 70 to 75 kids every year. They come back every year. Some of them sign up. We have 3 two-week sessions. Some of them sign up for the full 6 weeks. We have some future lifeguards in waiting there, which is always a good thing. So that, and this year we had more private rentals. We didn't have any in 2015. We had 6 this year, which added to our bottom line, which I think the word's getting out how great the pool is. It's a great facility. It's a great staff. Speaking, my daughter was up there a lot this year. So as a parent, and somebody joining the pool, I'd want it that way. And I think we're on the right track there. Our expenditures, I think we came in under budget on all our expenditures for the most part. Right? We were at budget or under, so that was a good season. Programming, we had 5 youth splash nights. A movie night, unfortunately, had to be canceled because of lightning. We brought back the senior breakfast. We had a family day with a balloon artist and a magician. We even had an adult night, which was after hours. We had a band come in and play. We're looking to add programs this year. We maybe add an extra movie night, maybe an extra splash night. They do very well. We're looking to maybe do a Christmas in July type of theme night there, or theme day. And Driftwood Adventures, I forgot to mention, they come in every year. They do a water safety and paddleboard program, free of charge, to our pool. We charge a nominal rate. It's like $5 to $10 for a member, non-member. It's very well received every year, so we like to continue that. So, any questions on the pool? Adult kickball, our 3rd year. I think many of you are familiar with the kickball league from the past. We had 13 teams this year. The league ran from early July to the end of August. It was a great league, no issues. I'd like to thank Levittown Continental for letting us use the facility. It was, our teams really enjoy it down there. And this is a program that just keeps growing, and we get different requests each year for teams that want to enter. So, this is something we want to continue going forward. Okay, a little update on programming. We'll go back. Our summer concert series, we held 14 concerts this year. I think that's the most we've ever held. I think most years we've held 12 or 13. And this was the first year we had a couple rainouts, but we made them up. Our last concert took place in the middle of October, so we got them all in. We got them all in, and look forward to doing that again this year. Little recap, we just finished up our children's kickball program from ages 6 to 12. We ran that at Levittown Continental on the Challenger Field. Much appreciated with Levittown Continental. We had 16 participants between ages of 6 and 12. Jessica Fox and Gianna Farrell and Leonidas Bavas, who were 2 counselors of ours, ran the program. It's a great program, and that was probably the most kids we've ever had. So next year, I think we could do even better. We charge a nominal fee for that, $10 for a resident, $15 for a non-resident. It's about a 6 to 7 week program. This past Saturday, we held our 2nd annual Turkey Kickball Tournament for adults. We held that at Levittown Continental. Most of the teams were in our summer kickball league. It was a 1-day double elimination tournament. We got in, I think, the last nice day of weather we're going to have here probably this year. It was a great event. We started about 9 o'clock in the morning. We had the snack bar open down there. It was a great day. We raised some good money. We'd like to donate some of the funds, maybe to a local food pantry, for the holidays. That's kind of the idea behind it. The winners received a tremendous kickball trophy with a cosmic turkey on it, so it's kind of gaudy, but it was a good time. We had our annual Halloween party on Saturday the 29th at the Senior Center. We had roughly 100 kids show up, participated, arts and crafts. We did a little parade. They received awards, costume contest. That one always goes over really well. Some upcoming events. Friday, December 2nd, we're having our 3rd annual Parents Night Out event at Walt Disney. Time 6 to 9 p.m., ages 3 to 12. Kids will come to the facility. They'll participate in sports, games, arts, and crafts. It's $5 a resident, $8 a non-resident. It's a great time of the year. It gives parents a last-minute chance to go out, do their last-minute Christmas shopping, or just get rid of their kids for a couple hours, to have fun. And it's a fun night. If anybody's around, stop on by. Next night, December 3rd, is the annual tree lighting at Three Arches. We have a lot planned this year. We're going to be having a Build-A-Bear workshop, craft stations for kids, snow globe, where you can get your picture taken. We're going to have Christmas carolers this year, a gingerbread house that was made by John Logue from Public Works. Thank you, John. We're going to be serving hot chocolate, out of the gingerbread house. And Santa will be coming in this year on a horse-drawn carriage. Tree lighting will take place at 6 o'clock. Majority of the event, the times are 4 to 7 p.m. A lot of the other activities will start at 4 o'clock, and the tree lighting will happen at 6 o'clock. Saturday, December 17th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., and that'll be our annual Breakfast with Santa. That's going to take place at the Senior Center on Oxford Valley Road. Right now, we have 149 registered. We have 150 spots, so we are pretty much full for that event. They get a free breakfast. We do arts and crafts. Santa comes out for pictures with the kids. Another great event on tap for us. One other program we have finishing up, we have the second annual Fall Photo Contest, which we are taking entries right now up until the end of November. Park and Recreation Board will pick the winners for that contest at their December 5th meeting, and we'll do a future presentation at a future Board of Supervisors meeting. Anybody have any questions on any of the programs? Okay. As most of you know, Three Arches, the renovation work was completed in early September 2016. Right now, Barb Losi, our administrative assistant, is decorating Three Arches. It looks beautiful. We're going to be looking to hold smaller events and meetings at the site after the new year. We have been getting requests. We had to hold them off because of the work that was getting done there. So we're going to start bringing some, hopefully rent the building out for some smaller events, meetings, smaller events, no more than 30 people. Geese management program in 2016. Once again, very successful. We're down to about 15 to 20 geese, resident geese on site, which is pretty much nil. I think the efforts over the last couple years are really taking hold of the problem down there. If most of you have visited the park, you don't see the problems we had 2 years ago with the issues we had. Even S&S Wildlife, they had to do a lot more night hazing in 2015. They didn't have to do that this year because I think we're starting to get on top of this issue. It's something we're going to have to continue to do, I believe, because once you start, let it go, geese will come back. So I just wanted to give you a little update on that. We're under budget there, and it's where we want to be. Recently, Parks and Recreation started a playground audit program. Jessica Fox and John Gillis from Public Works have worked together to put together an audit program. We want to go through all our existing playgrounds and go through to see if they're up to code, up to safety standards. There's certain standards these playgrounds need. Basically, we're looking at like heights with swings and pretty much a lot of safety issues. We completed about 10% of these. We just started it. We found issues at a couple of the playgrounds, which we were able to address right away. The idea with this, again, is we're looking to be proactive instead of reactive to any issues there. Any safety issues we want to be on top of. We put new signage up in all the playgrounds, noting which age they're appropriate for. Some are 2 to 12 tot lots, some are 5 to 12, some are 7 to 12. On those signs, we also included my direct extension, Jessica's direct extension, and Barbara Losi. So if there's a person at the playground during the day and they notice something, they don't have to wait. They call us right away. We'll get Mr. Gillis or some of the Public Works crew out there to fix the problem right away, instead of waiting for us to do an inspection, because things break whenever. So we really anticipate that down the line, making our playgrounds the best there are around. Any questions on that? Okay. Community Garden Expansion Project. We received the grant from PICO, I think about a month ago. They were here. That project has started. We've done some basic cleanup at the garden, and they've been raising the beds, the height of the beds, that they wanted to do. They're going to do most of their work starting in the spring, but they wanted to get some work done here in the fall. We started using some of the PICO funds. Mainly, it's just been wood and screws right now. But in the next year, we're going to do really get into the expansion with the fencing, adding the beds, and doing more of that. So that's going really well. Quaker Penn Park. Parks and Rec is currently working on a presentation for the Bucks County Open Space Program for Quaker Penn Park for that potential improvement project. We're looking at installing a new playground with safety matting, a compost toilet with a facility, field lighting, and potentially security cameras. There was a packet, I believe, information in your packets this week to look at it. There are some basic quotes there. We're still looking to get some additional quotes. We're meeting with some other manufacturers and installers on site, especially for the electrical, to see what we can do. The idea with the Bucks County Open Space Program, we have to have the application in by December 31st. The application is due. We can always present after the new year. That's the deal with that. However, I think we're going to have the information we need by December 7th to present at the December 14th meeting. So we're moving along on that. We'll keep you updated on that. This is kind of a fluent situation right now. So we anticipate getting some more information, and we're working on some other ideas, looking at some other potential grant opportunities we could talk about to help with that project also. So stay tuned on that one. Boat ramp revenues at Quaker Penn were down a little bit this year. We did have some issues with the kiosk this year. I think there was some software, some battery issues. Matt Markey worked really hard and did a great job when the kiosk went down, but there were certain times where we were waiting on direction from the manufacturer company, to how to fix the machine. So we did lose out on some revenue, quite honestly, there this year that we would normally get. So I'm hoping that bounces back a little bit next year. So that's kind of where we're at there. And in 2017, I have a couple ideas what we're looking to do. We were interested in doing I was talking with Mr. Barassi about a Touch a Truck event in April. Basically, a Touch a Truck event is a lot of townships have done them as fundraisers. They bring in large vehicles, fire engines, police vehicles, cement mixer trucks. It's kind of like your Diggerland on for kids. We would bring them to the park. They could go on there. A representative, with the fire department can explain how the engine works, that sort of thing. I think that would be a nice community gathering for something different for the park and get some more exposure to our park. We're also working on a program for a dog park, a sponsorship program. We spend quite a bit of money just on waste bags, mutt mitts, for our parks, and we're trying to work on some ideas how to subsidize some of those costs. So we've developed some sponsorship packages, and we're targeting like pet businesses, veterinarians, that sort of thing. And we've got a tentative commitment from about 3 or 4 businesses for about $4,000 for next year. So I think that'll really help us going forward. They would hang a banner down at the park. Depending on which level they go on, they'll get mentions on our Facebook, our website, and get a table at our big events like our Q for the Troops, Family Festival, or any other sort of vendor booth space, going forward. So we're hoping that, I think that's going to be a good addition in 17 for us. So that's pretty much what I have. Any questions?
Any comments or questions? Mr. Andrews?
No, nice presentation, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. Okay, thank you. Any public comment? See none? Okay, thank you very
All right,
much. I
thank you.
appreciate it.
Have a great holiday.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
All right, item 5 is proposed budget presentation and authorization for advertisement for our 2017 budget. I'm sure I'll take some of the thunder away from Mrs. Rukoff and Mr. Gray if he's going to say this, but we're obviously authorizing advertising this evening. We will have 2 meetings in December where we will have discussion. We're open for discussion for any public comment or questions. We'll look to approve the budget at our second December meeting, which I believe is the 18th. Right. Let's see. I'll check my calendar here. 19th, sorry. Be the 19th. So we'll have a meeting on December 5th and a meeting on December 19th, and both of those meetings will be able to discuss the budget. So for anybody that has concerns or questions, this is just advertising. Mrs. Rukoff will later on mention the different places you can see it aside from the website. It's going to be placed in libraries, et cetera, things like that. So, okay, and without further delay, turns over to Mrs. Rukoff.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to present the proposed budget for 2017 for your review. The proposed tax rate for 2017 is 7.22 mils. It's the same rate as 2016. There is no tax increase proposed for Falls Township's residents. This rate remains the lowest tax millage rate in the past 25 years. 7 tax funds make up the total millage rate charged to township residents. The general fund is the chief operating fund of the township. The street lighting fund is used to account for the cost of electricity and maintenance of highway and street lights located in the township. Fire protection fund helps to support our local fire companies. The fire hydrant fund is restricted to expenditures for the maintenance and repair of fire hydrants located within the township. Parks and Recreation Fund is restricted to the development of recreational programs at our township parks. Fallsington Library Fund helps to support our local library, and the Rescue Squad Fund helps to support our local rescue squads. That brings our total millage to 7.22. For 2017, we have redistributed 1/10 of a mil from the Street Lighting Fund to the Parks and Recreation Fund to cover operating costs. This is the 3rd year in a row in which we've been able to reduce the millage for the Street Lighting Fund. This is a direct result of our conversion to LED streetlights, which have lowered the electricity costs. There's been a 32.8% reduction in the cost of streetlight power since the conversion. Overall, total millage will remain the same. For every tax dollar paid in 2016, less than 4 cents was received by Falls Township. The balance was collected by the County of Bucks and the Pennsbury School District. Residents' tax dollars are used to provide a full range of municipal services. These include fire and police protection, construction and maintenance of streets and storm sewers, recycling, residential solid waste pickup, zoning regulations, building inspections, parks and recreational activities, and the maintenance and replacement of streetlights. Contributions to our fire companies, rescue squads, and the library that serve Falls Township residents are also funded through these tax dollars. What do all of these services cost the taxpayers? Based on an assessment of $30,000, the Falls Township resident can expect to pay $216.60. This is by far the lowest cost of all of our neighboring municipalities. Note that our neighboring municipalities' figures also include assessments for trash and leaf pickups, which are free to Falls Township residents due to our partnership with Waste Management. And Bristol, Bensalem, Northampton, Middletown, and Lower South also charge an earned income tax, which is not reflected here. Some highlights of the 2017 proposed budget. 2017 general fund revenues of, I'm sorry, excuse me. We include a reliance by the general fund on host community fees of $14.8 million, reliance by the general fund on resource recovery fees of $950,000, and additional projected revenues including our local services tax at $400,000, cable TV franchise fees at $745,000, real estate transfer taxes at $650,000, building, electrical, and fire permits at $780,000, and our state pension system assistance at $600,000. Our 2017 pension obligation. While the state pension assistance that the township receives has remained relatively static, it increased slightly in 2016 to $621,200. The township's minimum municipal obligation to the pension plans has risen dramatically. As shown by the red line on the chart, the township's pension obligation rose from 1.3 million in 2012 to 2.58 million in 2016. And for 2017, our pension obligation is $2,579,076. As you can see, the assistance we receive from the state does little to offset our pension costs. The net cost to the township is projected to be just under $2 million for 2017. Budgeted expenditures from the general fund total $20,473,666. 55% of that amount, or $11.3 million, is used to provide police services to our community. Some 2017 proposed capital projects. The municipal complex. Construction costs for the proposed new township building have been budgeted in the amount of $15 million for 2017. 2017's road program calls for the full-depth reconstruction of Walton Drive and engineering and design work for 7 roads in the Hedgerow Woods section of Falls Township. They are Share Drive, Gilbert Drive, Simons Drive, Rice Drive, Lyons Drive, Elbow Lane, and Fletcher Drive. The 2017 road program also includes milling and overlay of 6 township roads. They are the Mill Creek Parkway eastbound, Makefield Turn, Laura Way, Lesha Drive, Andrew Drive, and Rice Drive. The combined cost of the 2017 road program is projected to be $2,076,000. Our Public Works Department anticipates the completion of additional milling and overlay projects on Virga Avenue, Beverly Avenue, and Oak Lane at a projected cost of $40,000. $154,650 has been budgeted for improvements to the intersection of the Levittown and Mill Creek Parkways. PennDOT will provide matching funding through their Green Light Go program. The purchase of vehicles, computer equipment, firearms training and supplies, and various other equipment for the police department is budgeted at $470,579. The Public Works Department is in need of replacement vehicles and mowers. $241,382 has been budgeted for these purchases. The total 2017 budget, including all revenues, expenses, and fund balances, totals just over $81.78 million. Based on the proposed budget, a total of $44,540,000. Hold on.
You're losing control.
It's just decided to get ahead of this place. There we go. It doesn't like that slide. A total of $44,540,803 is projected to be spent in the year 2017. The budget schedule for 2017 includes tonight's discussion of the 2017 budget, advertisement of the budget on November 25th, additional budget discussions from November 21st through December 18th, public inspection of the proposed budget from November 28th to December 18th, and adoption of the 2017 budget at the December 19th Board of Supervisors meeting. And that concludes our presentation of the 2017 proposed budget. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, comments or questions for Mrs. Rukoff? Mr. Rocco?
No, excellent job, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Dents?
No questions, but a very nice presentation.
Thank you.
Mr. Boraski?
I have nothing.
Mr. Galway?
No questions.
I want to thank you, obviously, for the work you put in. I know, board members will be kind of looking over it. We've already had meetings with Mr. Gray, but I know there's some issues that sort of going back and forth in discussions just amongst ourselves. Again, we'll, looking to just authorize advertisement this evening for the budget so that it can be placed out for people to review. And then we'll have 2 other meetings where people can raise issues or discussions. Is there any public comment now? See no hands? Okay. If there's no questions or concerns, is there a motion to authorize the budget and advertise?
I'll make the motion.
Excuse me, motion to authorize advertisement of the budget, sorry.
Yes.
Second it.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, minutes for November 7th, 2016.
Sorry.
Okay. Comments, questions, corrections?
I wasn't at the meeting, but I did watch the video, and excellent minutes as always, Mrs. Pullen.
Okay. Any? Yeah, I did. I covered for you.
Oh, good job, Bob.
No problem. No problem. Is there a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Sullivan, engineers report?
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. Just a couple of highlights. For the 2016 road program, the mill and overlay of Mill Creek Parkway, the westbound lanes, has been completed and restriped, and that part of that program is complete. Due to scheduling problems for PICO, the gas main relocations for Holly Drive took much longer to accomplish than we anticipated. General Asphalt did get to the site. He did a manhole installation for tie-ins for the storm sewer on Holly Drive. But at this time, it's our opinion, and we've told them to stop work until the spring. They thought about maybe putting in some of the storm sewer systems inlets, but the inlets would be sticking 1.5 inches above the pavement during the wintertime, which, it isn't a problem for plows and such. We figured that there'd be a good opportunity for damage to these inlets during the winter season. So we suggested, and apparently some of the residents are on the same page as we are, that we postpone the reconstruction of Holly Drive until spring of next year. Due to the great weather, the docks at the Quaker Penn boat ramp are still in place, but we anticipate taking those out probably next week sometime after Thanksgiving. And that's really all I have.
Okay. Comments or questions for Mr. Sullivan?
No
Gallo?
questions.
No. No.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, and I have none. Motion to accept the engineer's report as presented?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Budget, or the bill list rather, for this evening, $2,649,053.40. Of that, $2.6 million. There's $37,000 that comes from escrow, which is developers' money. There's another 50,000, 51 just about thousand that comes from state aid, state funding. There is money here allocated for the fire companies. Okay. Over about $113,000 to that. Salary and health insurance is about 1.8 million of the 2.6. And this is also one of the bills that includes the post-retirement health benefit for retired police officers. They get paid, those retired officers get paid or get money twice a year, May and November, for expenses to cover their health benefits in their retirement. And that's something that's included in their contract. Depending on when they retired, they could earn anywhere from, $1,800, could be $6,600, could be more than that. So there's a variety of that. There's also $24,000, excuse me, for health insurance contributions. Any comments or questions for Mr. Gray regarding the bill list?
No.
Okay, if not, is there a motion to pay the bills, $2,649,053.40?
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Pullen?
Mr. Galloway?
Yes.
Mr. Brasky?
Yes.
Mr. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Dent?
Yes.
Mr. Rocco?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to have another sort of extension of our executive session afterwards. Police Chief's report. I see Chief Wilcox is here.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Earlier this evening, I provided a copy of a letter from Chief Henry. I hope the board had got it. That is a result of our special emergency response team. During the election, they were asked on 3 different occasions to guard the president together with the vice president. And on the last 2 occasions, they were the last minute. Chief Henry was very, very appreciative, and I thought the letter in itself showed how professional our team is. I thought you'd like that feedback. For the board's edification, their graduations will be coming in the month of December. We have Oxford Valley on December 6th. We have Eleanor Roosevelt on December 8th. St. Mike's, if you choose to go to, is December 20th. We also have the graduation of the Citizens Police Academy on the 19th. Myself, Lieutenant Ward, and I'm trying to think of the sergeant's name from Laura Makefield. Sergeant Reeves. We attended the career day at Commonwealth, and we taught 4 classes on law enforcement. It was really a great day, and I thought that they were very appreciative. We have Coffee with a Cop next Tuesday night. Different spin on it. It will be here. We're providing for the people who don't have the opportunity to go to it. It'll be at nighttime. It'll be from 6 to 8. We'll have refreshments. We have some pastries for them. And as always, the last Coffee with a Cop was well attended, and we're advertising it on the Courier-Times, our Facebook, Levittown Now, and Matt Markey is putting it on our website. I met today with the Walk for Life Committee from the American Cancer Society. We're making preparations for next spring to work with them and provide security for the Walk for Life. I know there was something else. Their graduation is 14. I think that's it, man.
Okay.
Oh, I know what it was.
Yes.
The toy drop-off.
Yes, thank you. State Representative John Galloway has a program. It's not Toys for Tots, it's Toys for the Why. And it started on November 14th and it will end on December 16th. His office is located at 8810 New Falls Road. What Mr. Galloway is requesting, new unwrapped toys, books, clothing, and any certificates from our local supermarkets that that he could give out to needy people in the area. It started on November 14th.
Our IT person is telling us you need to use a microphone.
Oh,
Okay.
is that better, Matt?
Yeah, he gets a little annoying, so you have to,
It started on November 14th, and it will culminate on December 16th. What Mr. Galloway is asking for is unwrapped toys, clothing, books, and gift certificates from our local supermarkets. He does this program every year, and it's been very successful, and he just wanted to get it. He just wanted using us as a vehicle to get it out there. It's not Toys for Tots now. That's the Marine Corps. This is Toys for the Why. I think that's it.
Comments
Thank you,
or questions for the chief?
No, I appreciate the update.
Good?
No, thank you, Chief.
Okay, thank you, chief. Okay, manager comment? Mr. Gray?
Yes, just a few items tonight, Mr. Chairman. Just want to announce there were 2 new businesses that opened up in Falls Township during the month of October. They include Lennox, which is located at 451 South Oxford Valley Road, and also the Pennsbury Laundromat at 229 Plaza Boulevard. Also, Pennsbury School District provided a request for donation of 2 township vehicles. Representatives of Pennsbury came out and identified 2 vehicles that would closely fit their needs. They are a 2010 Ford Crown Victoria that has 95,000 miles on it, and a 2010 another Ford Crown Victoria that has 140,000 miles on it. Again, they would fit their needs, and at this time, the board is asked to consider donation of these 2 vehicles at this time.
We have a rough idea of how much they would cost collectively?
They're both valued at approximately $500.
Each?
Each.
Okay.
Yes, each.
Okay. All right. And they would be using these for their security, I think, correct?
Security staff at Pennsbury, yes.
Okay. Comments or questions, Mr. Gray?
No.
Is there a
Hey, do they pay to have it painted? All the stuff taken off, or there's nothing on our end, we're just gonna donate the cars, they'll take care of it from there?
We have to take out the lights and any computers or anything else
Oh,
that's
yeah.
police-related, and then we will give them to Pensbury, and we'll also ask Pensbury to pay for the title transfer.
Okay.
Yeah, but everything else they do. Yeah, they
Yes.
paint them and they do whatever
They're not
else.
gonna want black and whites.
No, probably not, no. Okay. Okay. All right, is there a motion to authorize the donation of the 2 vehicles to Pennsbury School District?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right, we'll do board comment. Mr. Rocco?
Yeah, just 2 things. Tonight's actually my anniversary, so I'm spending it with you guys instead of my wife.
I'm sure she's probably thanking you.
She is, yes. Happy anniversary to her. And then just happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the day and the family and the food and football. So that's all I have. Thanks.
Mr. Dents?
Just a happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Boraski?
I have nothing.
Mr. Galloway?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Okay. Just a couple things just to touch base on. This, obviously, we know Thanksgiving, of course, everybody has a very, very happy Thanksgiving. And obviously, we know that Friday, of course, has turned into almost a separate kind of holiday, being Black Friday. But Small Business Saturday has taken off over the past couple of years. And as led really by Mr. Dents and the Live Here, Spend Here campaign, and some of the other ideas from other board members and Mr. Gray announcing businesses when they come into the township and opening up. It's a great way to kind of help ourselves out as a community. If we think about some of the businesses in our neighborhoods owned by friends and family members and neighbors, and if we can spend some money there, not just, of course, on Saturday, but all year long, but especially the Small Business Saturday, I wanted to draw people's attention to and ask you to patronize some of the businesses here in Falls Township. I also wanted to let board members know a couple things. Mr. Gray is in the process of lining up a meeting with PennDOT, which will be at the PennDOT building in, is it Norristown? Or
King of Prussia.
King of Prussia. Probably sometime in the next few weeks. I know we've had several issues with state roads and issues that of repair that need to be done, on ramps on the 13. I know Mr. Boraski's raised about some of the, being difficult to see, vegetation. We know that there's a lot of litter, that there's not a lot of cleanup along state roads. New Falls Road is a prime example of that. So those kinds of issues and some others, the light coming out of Tyburn and New Falls, the guardrail that we've talked about putting on Penn Valley Road. So these are issues that he's going to bring, but any other issues you'd like him to bring to that meeting, just let him know in the next couple days so that he can go there prepared. It's a meeting, it's going to be sometime in the morning, I think, but so it makes it might be a little difficult for any of us to be there, but just wanted to let you know that. Also, I did ask Mr. Gray to work with Mr. Markey on putting a link on our website to the Bucks County Veteran Services website, being involved in a ceremony on Veterans Day sponsored by the Delaware Valley Vietnam Veterans. The gentleman who's in charge of Veteran Services here in Bucks County mentioned all the services they offer, and I wanted to make sure that we were making it easy for people to find those services. And so there is going to be a link from our website to theirs so that anybody can, veterans of any age, any kind of, whether it's health issues or other issues that you might need assistance with, there's a link that you'll be able to find very easily from our website. I think that was it. Okay. So I'll thank members for their service and all the staff here as well for everything they've done, and wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. And motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Seconded?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.